This is the Imperial Garrison. What's your call sign, pilot?
It's say something. Rebel Rock Radio.
Rebel Rock Radio? There is no Rebel Rock Radio.
Well, there is now.
From the far reaches of the Outer Rim to the city planet of Coruscant, it's the podcast that gives you sweet jams and all those pop culture hits. It's Rebel Rock Radio. What it is, everybody. Hopefully everyone is having a great night. Man, what a week it has been. Again, tonight we have our good friend Donovan with us.
Hi, guys. I'm back.
He is enthusiastic. I'm telling you. So, as we promised last week, we're going to continue, and I think this is our last one of Are They Real series, and we're going to talk about cryptids tonight. Plus, we're going to play, a lot of good songs and whatnot. But yeah, man, I am telling you, the chat is already hopping. We got Dragon Buddy dropped in. We got Shanti from Pop My Culture's in. Ubaldo's here. Tina. Man, I'm telling you, it is just going crazy. All right, chat. Start listing your favorite cryptids. What do you like? I'm telling you, this is going to be fun. Absolutely fun. All right, let me look over here at my show notes. I'm still not used to all of this stuff and whatnot, but we're just glad that you're here. If you're here watching in the YouTube and in our chat, of course, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe and always ring that bell. Bung. That way you know when our latest episode is coming out. So, yeah, we thank you for showing up here. If you're listening to us on our on the audio formats, wherever you hear all the latest and greatest audio podcasts, hop on over to YouTube, join the chat, see what it's all about, see what all the shenanigans are, because we definitely have lots of shenanigans in the chat, great discussions, man, I'm telling you. But we are a proud member of the Red 5 Network. Make sure that you follow us over there. You can do our bio link, which is, I don't have it written down, and I can't find that button. Man, if there was only somebody that was there to press the button and... see, magic button press. All right, yes, bio.link/red5. We have all sorts of podcasts that are there, over 30. If for whatever reason we're not quite your flavor, go check us out. There's going to be somebody out there that you're going to love listening to. Of course, if you want to follow us along even more, you could join us with our bio link, bio.link Rebel Rock Radio. And keep up with all the latest and greatest that we have out there on that. Bio.link Rebel Rock Radio. And of course, if you like to support us, we have another way for you to do that. And that is we have a merch store. Merch.
Merch.
Yeah. So go check out our merch store. It's on TeePublic. I'm sure that that will scroll across the bottom here any moment. See, there it goes. tpublic.com/user/Rebel Rock Radio. Make sure you put the slashes in there or the dashes, Rebel-Rock-Radio. That way you can find us. Hey, get Rebel Rock Radio logo on all the latest and greatest fashions, onesies, pillows. I'm sure there's all sorts of like cooking utensils and aprons and shirts and overalls and probably soon to come lingerie or anything. You never know. If it's going to be apparel and you want the Rebel Rock Radio logo on it, we can accommodate you, I am sure. All right. Yeah. See, you didn't expect that one there, Donovan.
No, I didn't. But I'm kind of down for it.
I'm telling you. Also, one last way for you to support us is going over to our Patreon. We have a Patreon page, whereas a little as $1 a month helps us out a lot. We have different tiers, all sorts of different cool stuff that we have. We have tiers where you can even pick a topic for us to talk about. But we also have this amazing list of people who have already supported us. And that list is Dave and Kelly, Chris, Don, Nicholas, Scott, Kim, Amanda, Mandy, Justin, Charlie, and Chantel. Thank you guys so much for all the support. We really love you. We couldn't do it without you. Thanks so much. But, of course, this is Rebel Rock Radio. And it wouldn't be Rebel Rock Radio without
Boing!
Yep. It wouldn't be Rebel Rock Radio if it wasn't Steve.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back, Steve. I am glad that you are here.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hi.
Nice to see you here.
Yeah,
Hello.
And we've got a chat room. We got a full chat room. Holy cow.
Oh, man. Yeah, we do. Hey, we even got the Science Fictionary came up. So,
Nice.
he says Natchez has a Bigfoot birthday badge.
Very cool.
And then
Hey there, Tina and
Rougarou.
Chantel and Ubaldo.
Spencer's here.
Me. Very cool.
Spencer.
So what are we
Spencer
doing? Where are we
mentioned
at now? Where are we at? What are we getting ready to do?
We are getting ready to play a song, my friend.
Ooh, perfect timing.
Yeah, absolutely. Who would have thought?
Awesome. Well, let's see. Let's look at the list. Oh, yeah. So this first song comes from Atlanta, Georgia, by a band called the Carolyn. And they put an EP out last month in June called Harmful History. And on that EP, they did a cover of the Cranberries song Salvation. You guys remember that song?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't.
And if you don't, you'll probably recognize it when it comes on. So they did a cover of that song, and that is what we're going to play. So here is Salvation by the Carolyn.
Don't do it, 'cause it's not what
All right. Salvation by the Carolyn.
Good tune. Good.
Very good. Here's your Earl sighting.
Yeah.
He,
Earl.
He actually is here in the room, but he's hiding behind the sofa here. And he's not necessarily hiding, he's just hanging out and getting some rays.
Awesome. Well, Steve, you're back.
Yeah.
How was your week?
It was good. It was a very interesting week. Very I could use the word eventful, but I mean it wasn't really crazy eventful. Just something new and interesting popped up this past week. It's almost been a week. So Saturday, I started a new part-time job at a game store, like they sell tabletop RPGs.
Awesome.
And yeah, so I started doing that Saturday, and it's been a lot of fun. So it's a store that just opened up here in Norman, Oklahoma. And it opened up over a week ago. I mean, they opened up on a Monday, and I started on Saturday. But in fact, I mean, technically, they're actually not even open per se. They're like they're kind of in a soft opening phase,
right?
So the grand opening actually is not until the 11th of August. But it's been open, and customers have been coming in, and we've been selling stuff and playing games with people and sitting around reading new games and discovering new games. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Nice. And tomorrow night is going to be our first official D&D night. So we kind of designated Fridays as D&D night for now. We're gonna, we've got to take some time and gauge the landscape. But yeah, so there's going to be a couple of us running D&D games. So I'll be running one.
Nice.
And but yeah, it's a lot of fun. The guy that owns it is really cool. The name of the store, by the way, I don't remember if I mentioned that, but it's called DM Dave's. Nice. Dave's a pretty cool guy, and he actually designs games. And I'm going to mention that a little bit more when we talk about our picks, if you guys have any.
I have one, I think.
Okay.
If I can remember what it is.
But yeah, I mean that's been the bulk of my week. Last week I watched Oppenheimer.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Yeah. Yes, Megan, that is actually part of my job is to GM games. In addition to, your regular retail stuff, people come in and want to look for stuff and want to buy stuff and want to talk about games, and you talk to them about games. So yeah, it's really nice.
Nice.
But yeah, so I watched Oppenheimer. That's pretty much that's the only movie I watched last week.
Cool.
Yeah. How about you guys? What you been up to?
Donovan?
I had another Downtime in the Ring interview earlier this week. I want to say that this one, since we're only like a year apart, and he was given a company to take over in Kentucky, that this one is a lot more of a. It kind of sounds like we're marks. I mean, even though he owns it and he currently still wrestles and everything, it was more of us just being excited for what the future of, being in our mid-20s and owning a wrestling company. So we were excited for that. That was probably the highlight. I had a Barbenheimer weekend. I didn't have just an Oppenheimer weekend. I saw both of them. Scary how both of them are very similar story-wise. It's so fun how they're similar story-wise.
Because they were both first launched in Japan.
Kind of, but it was more of like a deeper meaning towards both stories that at least I took from it, and I'll put it in. I did a vlog for that, so it'll go up on the Drop Zone YouTube channel for anybody who wants to watch that and see my takes on those two movies. But yeah, that was my week.
Nice. I only got to see one of those. Have not seen Oppenheimer yet. But I did catch the other one. Unfortunately, I was not impressed. Just was not impressed. I think mainly because I have small girls.
Yeah.
And they were and I didn't take them. I wanted to check it out because I've heard all sorts of stuff first. Yeah. So I thought, let me check it out just to make sure. Because, Dad, we want to see Barbie, and it's not one to take young kids to. It's PG-13 for a reason, and it's not a Barbie adventure. It is a Barbie. Manifesto, because that's a little too strong of a word, but lots of ideology that is in the movie that brings it above what I originally thought, and so but it's all right.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was different.
So, Donovan, what did you think of Oppenheimer?
So, when the project was originally announced, I got excited, and then once they said that Christopher Nolan was going to direct it, I knew that it was going to be a hit out of the park. I love history, especially World War II history. So to see this be on a screen to where we can see all these different aspects of him as a, hero, and no spoilers, but also as a villain in a case, because we all know what he created. It was beautifully written. It was beautifully produced. It was directed. Everything. I can't have a single bad comment about Oppenheimer at all. Other than I have to wait so long before I can see it again, which is probably going to be tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a big history buff too. So when it was first announced, like a year and a half ago or something like that, I was like, oh yeah, I got to see that.
Yeah, I want to see it. I just need to get over there. I have a friend of mine works over at one of the theaters, and that's how I got into check out Barbie. But the crazy enough, Oppenheimer was really full, almost every showing that I could make, where Barbie was not as well attended during the times that I could go see it. So,
and around here, at least to the theater that I frequent, they are both like generally sold out. Like I was going to go see Barbie a few days ago, but there were no tickets left. So but Oppenheimer's been the same way, and I'll eventually probably go see it again. It was so good. It's Cillian Murphy, like he played that part so well.
Oh, yeah.
So well.
The interesting thing is the tourism side, I guess you would call it, for the Trinity site. They're full for October. They're because they only open it up one day in October and one day in April. and they said that if you go, that make sure you have a full tank of gas, because you're probably going to be sitting there for a while in order to get in.
So is that like the little town that they lived in while they were doing it? Is that still there?
Los Alamos? Yeah, that's still there. Everybody when they're at the Trinity site, which is Los Alamos is north of Albuquerque.
Yes.
Almost in between Albuquerque and Santa Fe to the north.
Mm-hmm.
The Trinity site is in the dead center of New Mexico, on the north end of the White Sands Missile Range, which you'll know where that is, having been in Alamogordo.
Yeah.
So it's at the north end of the missile range, right in the dead center of the state. And they only open up the Trinity site 2 days a year. So yeah, it's a really interesting tour. Really is interesting. I went years ago and I want to go again. Hopefully I'll make it out there. I'm hoping in April. I'll let the fervor die down a little bit and go check it out next April. But
I'm looking forward to when you see it. Maybe we should do a bonus episode about it.
All right. Yeah. I should have some downtime, and let's see, schools got to get ready for school starting with the kids. Next week we'll be starting that for my homeschool kids because they start August 1st. Then the next week after that, I'll be back in Houston with my brain procedures that they're going to do. And then I should have some time right after that. And then I'll be up in Oklahoma around the 12th and 13th, checking in my kid back in at Oklahoma State. So I'll be up in your area. Maybe I can get a chance to swing by.
Either that, or I can drive up to Stillwater. That's a weekend. So
who in the world is ringing my doorbell? Go away!
It's a cryptid.
All right. Yeah. So let me go find out who's ringing my doorbell. You guys start to do your pick, Steve.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess we're doing the Rebel Rock Radio picks now, and I'm actually going to talk to you a bit about a role-playing game that I recently played at the shop. This game was designed by the guy that owns the store. His name is Dave. And it's a really fun game. I mean, it's like if you're kind of burnt out on D&D and looking for something that's just kind of real relaxed and chill, but just like a ton of fun, this is the game to check out. It is called Badge Quest. So I'm gonna talk about it a bit, but I want to play this video about it first.
In a town like no other, where secrets lurk around every corner, a group of courageous young girls are about to embark on the adventure of a lifetime. Introducing Badge Quest, Mystery of Elazar Manor, the thrilling and unique role-playing game that'll ignite your imagination and test your bravery. Choose your path wisely as you become one of the Brave Blossoms, a dedicated group of girls determined to make a difference. You will play as one of 6 distinct archetypes. Are you the athlete, sporty and tough? Climbing and swimming are your strengths? Or are you the detective, the puzzle solver of the team? Maybe you're the enforcer, the intimidator of foes and defender of the group. Perhaps you're the entrepreneur, the charmer of the group. Or are you the sneaky scout, a survival expert? None of those. Well, maybe you're the leader with their commanding presence. Whoever you choose, your unique skills and traits will be essential to overcoming the challenges you'll face. Together, you will sell cookies to raise funds, buy gear, earn badges to climb the ranks, and immerse yourself in an adventure filled with secrets. As a backer, you'll receive the full-length campaign book, your gateway to an unforgettable experience. Packed with original rules, a hair-raising mystery, and brand new content, it's the ultimate companion for both new and experienced players. You'll also receive an exclusive enamel pin badge if you're an early bird backer. So join us and unleash your inner strength as you face a unique blend of spine-chilling encounters, fun puzzles utilizing your archetype's distinct skills, oh, and selling cookies, of course. Pledge your support today and join the brave blossoms on a journey where cookies, courage, and horror collide in the most extraordinary way. Badge Quest, Mystery of Elazar Manor. Dare to face the supernatural. July 18th, 2023. Join the adventure today.
All right, so that is Badge Quest. That was a little Kickstarter advertisement that they put together, and yeah. So basically, you play as you're not Girl Scouts, but for more, for lack of a better way, because they can't call themselves Girl Scouts, but they're basically Girl Scouts, and your whole goal in the game is to sell cookies and solve mysteries. And it's it's a lot of fun, and I just put a link to the Kickstarter there in the chat room, and then it'll also be in the show notes. So the full version of the game is not out yet, because the Kickstarter just launched on Tuesday. But there's like in the store we've got the beta version, I guess is what you'd call it. And we've been playing that, and we've been running it, and it's a load of fun. It's so easy to learn. I'm hoping to get some folks from the Red 5 Tavern interested in getting together and maybe running them through that online. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. When the Kickstarter launched on Tuesday, the project was fully funded in 90 minutes. So it didn't take long to get it funded. In fact, I think it's probably it is well over doubled its goal already. So its goal was 15,000, and it's made close to 43,000. Hey, DJ's back. So yeah, it's so much fun. Check it out if you get a chance. That's my pick of the week.
Awesome. Donovan, you got a pick for the week?
I do not have a pick for the week. I haven't really watched or anything this week. No movies, nothing other than Oppenheimer and Barbie, and we already talked about that.
Right. Yeah. I don't have one either.
Well, Oppenheimer can be your pick.
Actually, what you want to know what's scarier than Cryptids is I watched Barbie second. I watched Oppenheimer first.
Oh,
so
wow.
we watched about midday, about 3:00. We get out around 6, and the wave of pink coming through the doors was the scariest thing in the world. I kid you not, I couldn't see the sky because of just how much sequence and shiny and all of that, and the click clacking of high heels from all ages. It was definitely horrifying. I'll say that.
So, we're kind of trying things out here, trying out different formats, and to give you guys the best experience and whatnot. So, one of the things that we're going to try to do is just pick out a couple of news items as well.
You're not going to do your pick?
I don't have one.
Oh, I thought you said you did.
I can't remember what it was.
Oh, okay.
I had one, and that ship has sailed.
All righty.
If I think of it in a little bit, I'll mention it, but
gotcha.
No idea.
Okay.
But yeah, so a couple of news items that, and I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget them. So we still have the ongoing strike situation. There you go. Between the, I guess, production companies and whatnot versus the writers, actors, crew, and whatnot. I actually watched an interesting video where they detailed just the sheer numbers of people, not including actors, that are affected by this, whether it's grips or just production people, assistants, and cameramen and whatnot. So that is still going on. Hopefully, we will get a quick and, most importantly, fair settlement out of this, and we can continue to enjoy the fruits of labor and love that all these talented people put in to give us the quality entertainment that we get. So yes, end the strike so Marisha can go back to work. I agree 100%. She's an amazing costume designer, and definitely need some of that. So hey, Steve, if you're ever looking for some leopard print Rebel Rock Radio stuff, talk to Marisha. I bet she could probably design something for you. But yeah, so there's that one. We also got news. I think this was came out today that I saw this, that they are still in production for the Lando series. Now, they did have a writer attached and a producer attached, but they have left, and almost immediately Donald Glover said, you know what, me and I think it's his brother, are going to take it upon themselves to put out that content. Hey, as they say, it's one step closer to make Solo 2 happen. So I am hopeful that we'll get something cool from there. And last news item, hey, you know what? We are inching closer to Ahsoka. Trailers have dropped. I think we're up to 2 now. Photos have been coming out. Plot leaks galore, which we're not getting into. But the news and the excitement is building for this show. I really can't wait for this one. And I am hoping that the Lando show is not Solo 2. I'm hoping that it is a precursor to Solo 2. I would love to see a second Solo movie. I know a lot of people were down on it. I actually enjoyed it. So, yeah, give me more. I don't care if they recast it. A lot of people didn't like Alden Ehrenreich. Fine. Find somebody else. Just give me more Solo. So, and that's the news, which, of course, brings us to another song. What you got, Steve?
All right, we got time for another song. Let's see. What is the next song? Next one comes from a band out of Oslo, Norway, called Cocktail Slippers. And we are playing a new single from them that just dropped on June 30th. And it is called Good Love. So here's Good Love by Cocktail Slippers.
Tell you about this gal I met. I asked her for a light, she bum a cigarette. At a small time bar, she let her dust feel out. She said, ooh, gonna tell you what it's all about. She said, all that she wanted was love, but she found out all that she wanted she had the world in her hands, still she wanted more, yeah. Fame, fortune, and a million boys, fancy houses, buying cars and she said all that she wanted was love, but she found out all that she wanted was trust. All we need is love now. All we need is good love in our lives. All we need is love now. That's all we need. 'Cause all we need is love. Ooh, yeah. All we need is love now, baby, come on. That's all we need, yeah. All she wanted was lost, but all she needed was not. All she wanted was lost, but all she needed was just. She needed
All right. Good Love
Nice.
by Cocktail Slippers.
I like that one.
Yeah.
It's
Good stuff.
bouncy.
Yeah, definitely. Good.
So, before we get into our discussion here, I've been using StreamYard for I don't know how long now. And I just now saw a spot where I can, because I used to have YouTube open to comment in the chat and StreamYard open so I could see the video and do all the stuff there, unless you're the actual host and then you can type comments. But now I could link my YouTube into StreamYard, so now I can type and post comments right from StreamYard. So new feature that I've seen. So pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually new. That hasn't been there the whole time.
Nice. All right. I was thinking I was going crazy. But all right. So yeah, we're going to start up our.
So Megan left a comment here.
Yeah.
You see this one? She can make kilts.
So I have a question about the spirit wear. Can you do a crop top?
Just for you.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all I need. I'm a Ezekiel Elliott half shirt. Promote.
More like Rufus.
Oh, okay.
That's horrifying.
Anyway, so but yeah, so we're gonna start our discussion on cryptids here. I don't know. What do you guys? What are cryptids? What do you think cryptids are? If you don't already know, or What do you think that they are if you're not 100% sure? Donovan?
So the best way to say, at least for me, a cryptid is something that we have yet to fully discover, something that has been seen, but there's no definitive proof. So we're just like, oh yeah, this isn't an animal technically, but it technically is an animal.
Something something that's out there but hasn't technically been proven by science.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, not surprisingly enough.
So does that make us cryptids? No, I guess not.
I'm a cryptid. I
I'm a
agree with
cryptid.
that 100%. Science cannot identify me whatsoever,
No.
or at least figure out what's wrong with me. But that's a different story. And like most things, there is a large following in pop culture when it comes to the unexplained, whether it's aliens, whether it's vampires, whether it's ghosts, whether it's something else, which this is kind of the category that is something else. So I picked 10 of the most popular. Now, this is not a 100%, hey, here's all of them list, but did a little bit of research on these and from all over the world. And I've just picked 10 just to talk about real quick. Just give us a basis on some of the cryptids that are out there. Some of these have had movies made out of them or TV shows, stories or whatnot. But we're going to start with the Mongolian death worm. Now, this is an interesting one. Have you guys ever heard of this one?
No, I have not.
I have from that show Lost Tapes. That's about it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So this one is, I guess in China, Mongolia. I don't know, is Mongolia even a place anymore? I don't know. It's all over in Asia over there, over close to the Gobi Desert. And it is a large worm that just eats everything. It has lots of reports of, hey, it's it's this or it's that. It looks like this. Hey, the death worm did this, but there's actually been no official sightings of it or anything. So that's kind of why it's on the low end of this one. But there's enough stories out there where they even made a movie about it, about the Mongolian death worm. So it's pretty interesting. Looks like a giant centipede type thing that just it's just odd.
Does it look like this?
Like Kirby?
No, not Kirby. No, that's the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob.
Oh. No, yes, it does
said
actually. It kind of looks like that, though. There's reports that it's pale in color, up to like a rose tinted type color with a little bit of shades of red in there. But yeah, it's supposedly can kill at a distance. It sprays venom. It has like a electric discharge if it can get a hold of you. That it lives mainly underground. But it's pretty interesting. So another one that seems to come up fairly widespread throughout the world is a phenomenon called the phantom cat.
The phantom cat.
Phantom cat. Yeah.
Okay.
So larger than normal cat-like being. Some people call it an ABC, alien big cat. I don't know. But there's stories from Australia and Canada, China, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Great Britain, Ireland, India, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, New Zealand, Spain, Switzerland, and the U.S. That have all claims to see these abnormally large cats. Sometimes that they meld into shadows, or they are like a more of a shadow cat. Very rarely seen. Just a phenomenon. I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's just a big cat. Have you ever seen Max?
You ever seen Earl? I mean,
No. Earl has nothing on Max. Max is like, I took a picture of them cuddling together about a week or so ago.
oh yeah,
And yeah, Max like just towers in girth over Max. Max is a fat kitty. If you've never seen Max, he's a fat little guy. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a fat cat.
yeah.
Yes.
It could be. I don't know.
I was looking this up. They're for the United States part, they're seen a lot in Arizona and New Mexico. That's horrifying. That is horrifying. Oh god, that's scary. I don't like that. I'm not going outside anymore.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's strange. I mean, man, I know that I have seen, like in East Texas when I was in high school, there were not supposedly any panthers in East Texas.
Yeah.
Yet when I drove home from school one day, there was one in my driveway. And I'm like, that's not a mountain lion. It's not a bobcat. Yeah, because we have those. This was a panther.
Yeah.
And I sat in my car until it decided it wanted to leave, and I ran into the house, and but I lived in the woods, so yeah, who knows? But
oh yeah, you were just primed for it.
I'm just telling you that thing back there is real. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I couldn't resist. Steve, you know what that's from?
It doesn't come to mind.
It's some sort of TikTok or something that was out there. Some lady saw something on the back of a plane.
Oh, nah, I don't do the TikTok all that much.
Me either, but it was a TikTok that was on Facebook. So,
okay.
Yeah, it made the rounds. But yeah. Well, I mean, so that's one. Another one that is there, which a lot of people will probably recognize this one, and it is the Thunderbird. Have you guys heard of this one? I'm sure you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would probably be more common for you, Steve, wouldn't it? Since where you're from?
It might be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're kind of all over Pacific Northwest, Southwest, East Coast of the United States, the Great Lakes, the Great Plains. Lots of indigenous tribes have different stories about these. The Algonquins, the Ojibwe, Menominee, the Siouans. There's just so many different tales of this larger than life bird. And hey, it's popular enough where they made a car named a Thunderbird. So I guess enough said on that one. I mean, if that's Tina says that they have Thunderbird stories in Arizona. Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to have been just this huge bird that just and had lots of omens attached to the different tales. Some of them good, some of them bad. Some of them had tales that it was when the Thunderbird came, it was time for a new beginning. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. So this next one that I saw on there was one called the Jersey Devil.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
All right, yeah. So,
and we're talking about the cryptid, not the hockey player.
Yes, not the hockey player or not the Giants or the Jets. May those teams both burn down to the ground. Just saying. But yeah, it's it's popular enough where a hockey team, professional hockey team, was named after this cryptid. Said to inhabit the forests and the Pine Barrens in South Jersey, which, I mean, it's Jersey, so why not? Everything happens in Jersey. But yeah, Spencer. Yes, I know it's sports, but it is just for a brief second. You'll be all right.
The history of the Jersey Devil itself is scary to think about how that came to be all on its own.
Yeah. I mean, in the description, it's like a bipedal kangaroo-like, wyvern-like creature with a horse or goat-like head, leathery bat wings and horns, small arms with clawed hands, could have cloven hooves, a pitched fork or pointed tail, supposed to move extremely quickly, and emits a blood-curdling scream. So, I mean, just that alone,
horrifying.
And who's to say? I mean, look at the platypus.
Yeah.
I mean, who's to say that something like that doesn't exist? I mean, you got a platypus. That's kind of like a mixture of 16 different animals in and of itself. So,
I've never been to that part of the country, but from everything that I've watched on Cryptids, that forest is supposed to be so dense that people like midday can barely see the ground because of how lively the leaves are and the branches are on the tree. So, I mean, once you're in there by yourself, who knows what you really see?
Yeah. Megan said that sounds like a whole bunch of nope. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, heck, hey, that's man, is it possible? Sure. I know in Connecticut they have something called a Fisher cat. And the Fisher cat has a scream like what's that's supposed to be as well. And I've heard one of those, and it was fairly terrifying. I thought it was a kid screaming. It like late at night, and it was like one of my first few weeks when we moved to Connecticut, and I'm like, "What in the world was that?" And it was like, my neighbor's like, "Oh, it's just a Fisher cat." And I'm like, "What the hell's a Fisher cat?" So, but yeah, it was pretty interesting. Let's get to one more before we take a break here. And I think everyone's going to know this one. But there's a lot of speculation on whether or not this thing actually is real or not. And that is the Loch Ness Monster. Old Nessie.
I mean, I'm a little surprised that it's as low on the list as it is.
I think when I was thinking, and I think what played a part into my structure of the list is, and this is my list. It's not just one I found, online somewhere. I actually picked up a whole bunch of them, and there's a lot that I didn't even include in here. And I think what played more in my mind was whether or not the hoax believability, because there's been several that came forward that said, yeah, no, that was me, throughout the years. And so but I don't know, some of the tales go back years before these people were even around. And I think that they took those tales and then manufactured something to try to drive up the hype. But who's to say that it doesn't exist, or it very well could. Loch Ness is one of the deepest that's around. It connects to a whole bunch of different bodies of water. We've seen, they used to think that sharks just swam around the equator, but now, we find sharks in the Arctic Ocean. Who's to say that there's not something that is there? It really, I guess, could happen, but I don't know.
And that begs the question, how scary is the ocean? Because
Yeah. In fact, it's funny because I was reading some articles today about that, and it's like, why are people so afraid of large open bodies of water? You don't know what's down there. You can only go so far before the pressure just absolutely collapses in on you, and there's life that's down there.
Yeah.
So who knows what's down in the depths where we can't even reach. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I think that's a good place to stop, take a break. We can we can get to this list here in a little bit more. Only have a few more left. Then we'll talk more about pop culture. But what do you got for a third song, Steve?
Well, let's see. I have a band based out of Gainesville, Florida, and they are called As Friends Rust. And
nothing good comes out of Florida, Shanti. Sorry.
Nope. They said it, I didn't. So they have a new album coming out on August 18th called Any Joy, and that's coming out on End Hitch Records. So we are playing a song from that upcoming album, and that's what we're going to play. So that is As Friends Rust, and the song is Positive Mental Platitudes.
You'd
right. As Friends Rust with Positive Mental Platitudes.
Nice. I like that song. It reminded me of somebody, but I can't remember who.
Yeah. It reminds me of another band that I can't really place either. But yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'll think of it and I'll message you later because I'm sure it'll come to me. But yeah, it's the lead singer, the voice is very similar to somebody another band.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool. All right, so let's get back on this list here because believe it or not, we're actually time's moving on, and we want to get to the pop culture segment of this. So this next one is one that a lot of people will recognize. There's been tons of stories throughout history from all over the world, movies upon movies. There's even one about a little one of these that has two big movies. One was a cartoon, one is a live action remake that kind of stirred up a lot of hoopla, and that is mermaids. Mermaids are a cryptid.
Wow.
We actually haven't ever seen one, where you could study it scientifically. Rumors and other things that are abound about these treasured creatures. But yeah, mermaids is number 5 on the list, counting down to the possibly the most popular cryptid. Number 5, mermaids. I should have been numbering them as we went down. So what do you guys think of mermaids?
I mean, I don't doubt their existence.
Could be.
I saw the Animal Planet mockumentary they made of it like a decade ago, but that's about it. Like I don't believe that they are. Oh, that is horrifying. That's gonna give me nightmares. Funny part is I blinked before that, so when I opened my eyes, it was just
that was there. Yeah. I mean, hey, at least you could have picked some from like the Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
No.
Or Ariel. I mean, come on.
No, gotta be
accurate.
Yeah, gotta be accurate.
Yeah. I mean, it very well could. It's like one of those things. It's Atlantis. Was there an actual thing of Atlantis? A lot of people think, and not just from like Aquaman or anything like that, but they relate mermaids with Atlantis. Could have possibly been there. Lots of ships claim to see mermaids out in the wild, but who knows? I mean, they're so loaded up on rum that maybe they were seeing things, or maybe they're just so starved for attention and seeing other people other than their crewmates that they just happen to see things. Who knows? Hey, Eric Massey's in the chat. Welcome, Eric. And who knows? Maybe they are just smart enough to hide. They seem to, everything I've seen as far as their portrayal or whatnot and the stories, they are highly intelligent. So, and who knows? Maybe there's other things. Maybe it's an advanced civilization that is there, and they just know how to cloak themselves. Perhaps. Yes, I agree. Science fictionary. That is a extremely strong candidate for Atlantis, but that's for another show. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Number 4 is, I guess, more from mine and Donovan's neck of the woods.
Yes.
El Chupacabra.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, this. I've actually gone chupacabra hunting up in Sandia, hoping to find something that's out there. And I'm not just the peak where everybody goes, but out in Breaking Bad territory out there, trying to find something. It's
horrifying.
more of the Southwest United States, Latin America, Mexico. Steve put the picture up there. Who knows? There's so many stories I've talked to a lot of people up in the Albuquerque area who have claimed to have seen something up there, and they had no idea of this other person that's in the other valley that had a similar experience, and it then collaborated or had the same story of what it looked like, how it acted, and everything. So, very, very, very possible that there's something out there like that. And especially with our pop culture, everything is more horror driven. I've never heard of really a story where it was something was, where it attacked a human. It was always animals and things like that. But throw in Hollywood in there, they're going to have it, attack a school bus, full of kids, just to drive ticket sales. But it's very possible it could be some sort of animal that is just out there. I mean,
with the chupacabra, like there has only ever been 2 different variations of it. Like nobody has ever seen a leopard printed one, or like how Bigfoot has a lot of different versions, or even mermaids, or this, that, and the other. They see this same animal. So I 100% believe that it either was real or still is active. And that horrifies me, but also excites me too, because that means that there's just more things this part of the world that we have yet to discover, even though we're in a desert.
Yeah. And that's a point right there. We live in a very sparsely populated area. There you have Santa Fe, Albuquerque, up there. That's everything else is, a couple of thousand people, in an area. And there's so much of the time that, or the space that's unoccupied. Here we have Roswell, in Artesia, in Carlsbad, and then that's it for hundreds of miles. It takes 3.5 hours to get to El Paso from where we are.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in between other than oil field stuff. So, and not only that, I mean, and yes, this is some Bigfoot type stuff, or not Bigfoot, Godzilla type thing. They detonated an atomic bomb out here. Yeah. Who knows what sort of radiated monster or animal has been created from all of that radiation. You never know. It's possible. Very, very possible that something's out there. I just don't think it's really horror driven. Speaking of horror driven, I guess is the next one more paranormal. And I'm not sure if you guys have ever been there, but this one originated in Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Yes. Yes.
And am I the only one that's ever been there?
No, I've never been there. but I'm excited for who you're about to say.
Yeah, I've never been there.
All right. So I actually went and did some investigations. As a lot of people may or may not know, I was at up to a few years ago a paranormal investigator. I went all over the country tracking down different stories. And one of my travels, I did go to Point Pleasant to try to figure out what's going on with the Mothman. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, just reading some of the chat. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. But yeah, so the Mothman, Point Pleasant is 1966, 67. There was some sightings of this being with red eyes, wings, kind of looked like a moth or a giant bat type thing. It's a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a larger crane. I don't know if I can absolutely believe that with all the other stuff that went along with this observance that happened. But it's who knows. It's awfully coincidental to have a cryptid that is also associated with a lot of paranormal type things, predicting the future, telekinesis, the ability to read thoughts, to communicate over long distances, just a lot of different things that are associated with this. That's not normally animalistic behavior, so I don't know how valid that this one is.
So I love Mothman. He's my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card. Like, people have made him huge. Especially my generation has made him ginormous after what we've seen. The fact that there are accounts of seeing something like him days before Chernobyl happened, that he was still seen during the pandemic in Chicago, something of his caliber, a dark flying shadow with red eyes. Mothman by far is my favorite cryptid. I love the history. I love the fact that when he was first seen in Point Pleasant, it was by accident through grave robbing. For anybody who looks into his history, it's insane to see that. I don't believe that it's a cryptid per se. It has that ability to where it's predicted. It was seen before the bridge collapse. It's seen before multiple different tragedies. I'm reading the chat and somebody put killer moth in Gotham City. But overall, I love Mothman. Mothman's my favorite.
It definitely was really cool to get some of the stories, like not firsthand, but from the people of that area. It's a lot like Roswell during the UFO festival.
Oh, yes.
So there's Mothman everything in that area. You got T-shirts and statues and all sorts of different kinds of hats and things that give you like this moth type, appearance with the red eyes. It's a lot like Roswell. Lot less people though. I think there's only like 10,000 people, 7,000 to 10,000 people in Point Pleasant. It's not very big, but it's very touristy and things like that. But a lot of people have stories, and how much of that is just people telling stories, or how much of it is actually accurate, kind of like Roswell. nobody here's seen a UFO or an alien. But if you ask them, oh yeah, I saw one last week, and blah blah blah, oh yeah, let me take you on a tour, $20, and but how valid is it?
Yeah. Oh, I feel you.
Now we're down to the top two. This one goes by several names. A lot of it is based in the Pacific Northwest, all the way down to Mississippi, Texas, all over the place. Plus, if you really want to take all the different types of things, the Himalayas, Nepal, and of course, we're talking about Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or the Yeti. I think they're all pretty much the same thing. We could probably all, agree that, hey, whatever it is, there's probably different, just like people, they live in different regions. So there we go. Bigfoot. I don't know. You guys ever been on a Bigfoot hunt?
No, I haven't.
No, I have not.
Yeah, I don't know. That one's walking like an Egyptian, so it's really kind of, he must have been listening to the Bangles as he made his way through that territory. Good point, Spencer. What if Bigfoot has tiny feet? You just never know. I've actually been on a Bigfoot hunt. I've been on two. One in Texas, in East Texas, and one a little bit further north, I guess more towards the Texarkana type area. So on the border of Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Definitely interesting. I'm not a expert tracker by any means, but I have seen some odd shaped tracks that looked more bipedal than anything. I can't say that it was a Bigfoot, because again, who knows how big their feet are. It was barefoot and larger, I'd say 14, 16, maybe Shaq was going through the woods. You never know. But that would be amazing, Spencer, if there were people that dressed up in costumes. Kind of reminds me, there's a meme that's going that I just saw. In fact, my wife sent it to me the other day. It said Bigfoot costume $500, Ewok costume $250, messing with my best friend's trail cam priceless. And and you see the the Wookiee standing there in a trail cam footage, and it's amazing. But yeah, that would be awesome. Could there be something out there, some sort of ape person? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I've always been hesitant on Bigfoot, especially after Josh Gates from Destination Truth claimed to have found that Yeti footprint that him or his team can't really go into much detail how they randomly stumbled upon it in the Himalayas. Other than that, I'm not really big into Bigfoot. There hasn't been too big of a crowd for me, I guess. I've never had an interest in him as much.
Steve, you were up in that area, in the Seattle area. That's pretty big up there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's big there. It's also big in Colorado. But I mean, I'm not like a Bigfoot aficionado or anything, but I would have to say, like most of these, I don't doubt their existence. As you said, the way Hollywood portrays this particular one is more than likely quite a bit off. But I still think there's something to be said about a ape-like creature. Maybe it's just some sort of like pre-Neanderthal that never evolved.
Yeah. I think that there could be. There really could be. As dense as the forest is in East Texas, where there's sightings, whether it's the Rockies or up in the Pacific Northwest, for me, the big issue is land is now at a premium. People are everywhere. I think that we would have seen more sightings, would have been more frequently. If there are, they possibly could have been moved up to Canada, or where it's harder to reach. Maybe some of the upper Rocky Mountains or something like that, where people have a hard time getting to. But I mean, it possible, but who knows? So this last one that we have before we get into some of the more popular pop culture references, werewolves. Now, some people don't classify werewolves as a cryptid. I think I would, given their origin and just the condition that it is. Werewolves, possibly the most popular type of cryptid, especially in pop culture, because there's lots of movies, lots of stories, lots of television where it comes into these lycanthropes and whatnot. In fact, one of my favorite movies that we talked about just the other day is based off of werewolves.
Twilight?
No, God, no.
Somebody kick him.
Okay, you're done. Get out.
You're out.
Underworld. But I mean, I like Underworld mainly for Celine. But
sure. She just had a birthday. The actor, not the vampire.
Right. Kate Beckinsale?
Yeah, she just turned 50. Like just a few days ago. 50? Yeah.
Oh, she's just a couple of years older than me.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance?
So I've got a question about this actually that you might be able to answer.
What you got?
What is the difference between a werewolf and a lichen? I've read different answers. I'm just getting your take on it.
So the difference between a werewolf and a lichen is supposedly a naturally changing being. Not necessarily having to do with a bite or a transference of fluid, which is more of the werewolf type thing. So lichens were more shapeshifters that preferred shapes of wolves versus a mixed type human/wolf combination.
So what I have read is the difference is a werewolf can change back into a human, whereas a lichen cannot.
I really haven't heard too much on that one. Both of them had the ability to change back and forth. Lichens were supposed to be able to change at will, whereas werewolves were only able to change on lunar cycles.
See, now, if you've watched all of the Underworld movies,
I haven't.
You have not watched all of them?
No.
Okay. So the first, according to underworld lore, the first Lycan, who was William, started out as a human, and after he was bit and turned into the Lycan, he was never able to change back into a human.
Hmm.
And it actually did not get until oh geez, now I forgot his name.
Lucian. Yeah.
Lucian. He was the first Lycan that was able to revert back into a human.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Most research that I've done on it is, that Lycans were more shapeshifters
Interesting.
and could do it at will. And it was predominantly a wolf shape, whereas the werewolf was lunar cycle. So happened on a full moon type thing. Now, whether and there's throughout history, there's been stories about this particular thing. It's very similar to vampire lore all over the world. Very similar type of story.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, nowadays, are they real? Hard to say. I know that there are people that pattern their lives after that type of behavior. There's people that pattern their lives after vampire type behavior as well. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are and have all the power that the mythology of these cryptids say that they do. There's people that drink blood. That doesn't mean that they can't go out in sunlight. Doesn't mean that they can live forever.
Right.
They just, same thing with, I don't think that there's shape shifters. Lunar cycles are powerful things. They really are. Lunar cycles power the waves that gives us the tides. It definitely affects people. But I don't think it affects people enough to cause a bodily change to revert into a different type of species.
Yeah.
But, I guess it all depends on how deep that people believe.
Yeah.
It's
all very interesting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. The last thing I was going to mention before we get into some of the pop culture references of cryptids. And let me see if I can pronounce it. Do you know what a tulpa is?
Mm-mm.
Donovan, have you ever heard of it? A tulpa?
What did you call me? I have no.
Tulpa. Tulpa.
I have never heard of that.
Okay. A lot of it comes from Eastern religion, philosophy, where if you put thought into something for long enough and hard enough, then that thought can become reality. A lot of people think that now. It's more modern age where if you think it, you can do it type thing.
Oh, manifesting, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So there were studies that were done by monks in the Himalayan type area where they could actually focus their thoughts and focus their energy and create a being. And yeah, you guys have never heard of this?
Oh no, I'm saying no. I don't want to do that. No, I'm good.
So, and a lot of things, and they were actually like Mothman could possibly be a tulpa that was created by someone that put enough thought and energy and actually believed into this being that it actually manifested and took shape. Now, whether or not that's actually possible, it's really hard to, I mean, there's studies left and right on the power of positivity versus the power of negativity. I don't think that, people really, I don't know if we can really do that type of thing, but who knows? It might be possible. And a lot of the things that you hear about could be something of that nature, a scientific explanation of what it is and why it is. And if the person, after they manifest it, either decides to discard, doesn't necessarily mean that whatever it is has gone away. It's kind of like when you create matter, you can't uncreate it. If you have this power of thought and this consciousness and put it together and can manifest this energy, it doesn't just go away.
Okay, I like that, but I also don't like that.
That could be a possible explanation on some of these cryptids. So, that was something that we did as far as a research project with one of the paranormal groups that I was a part of. So, hey, Alan's here. Thanks for stopping by, Alan. But yeah, I know we're running a little long. I actually didn't think that this was going to take that long. I blame Steve.
Yeah, you can blame me. I'm the one that I decided to show up again. And
No. It's amazing. I'm glad that you are here, my friend. So quickly, some of the movies that are based on cryptids.
Teen Wolf.
That made the list. All right, so we're gonna go non-werewolf ones first. 1987, Harry and the Hendersons, John Lithgow. Amazing movie. Fun, so much fun. I love that movie when I was growing up. 2004, Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster. Then we have some animated ones. Abominable, 2019, super cute. Smallfoot. There's my recommendation, my Rogue One radio pick. If you haven't seen Smallfoot, go check out Smallfoot. Animated, 2018, super cute, lots of fun. Made me feel like I was a kid again. I laughed. I thought it was really cute. 2007, Water Horse. And then possibly Donovan's favorite, 2002, Mothman Prophecy.
Yes!
Richard Gere was in that one. Was very, very well done. Really stuck to the legends. Did not add anything to it. Didn't need to. It was pretty interesting. And then someone in the chat mentioned this earlier. I believe this was 1990 Kevin Bacon movie, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. That probably features the Mongolian death worm, Tremors.
We'll have to get into a conversation later about that. I if that is the Mongolian death worm, because
they took a lot of influences from that, and then Hollywooded it up. But and then of course, the most popular choice or most popular cryptid has the most popular movies. And these go back from all the way back to like 1935. The Werewolf in London, 1941, The Wolfman, 1957, I Was a Teenage Werewolf with Michael Landon. The Pa from Little House on the Prairie was a werewolf. Imagine that. Then 1985, Teen Wolf and Teen Wolf 2. 1994, Wolf, Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, ooh, I'm telling you. Yeah. You thought? I thought she looked pretty good in the Ant-Man series, but yeah, Wolf, good gravy. Then, of course, in 2003 and continuing on, Underworld. And there's a lot of other movies that are there. Those are just the highlights. But yeah, cryptids, are they real?
To an extent, I believe that some are.
In most of the cases that you mentioned, I have to say yes.
Yeah, I would definitely say that there's a definite possibility, especially after some of the ones that were mentioned. I can't discount them. You really can't. You really don't know a lot of what's out there in the world, and we're discovering new things all the time. So, very possible. Are they Hollywooded up? Sure. Are there tales to scare kids? Sure. Why not? Tales to scare adults too. But yeah. So I know that we went over just a little bit. Hey, I appreciate everyone in the chat that came in. Really couldn't do it without you. We really appreciate you. Thank you, Donovan, for joining us again. Go check out Donovan and all of his content over at Drop Zone. Steve, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. It's not the same without you. Glad you're here.
Thanks. Aww.
Yeah, and then hey, make sure you go jump over to WSTR. I can't remember what they were talking tonight.
I actually don't remember either.
It was something cool, and I was like, man, we gotta finish up so I can switch over to them. But I think it's this week. Anyway, so yeah, go check out WSTR Radio after us, or actually right now. And thanks for coming by. Appreciate you.
Thanks. What are we talking about next week?
I don't know. Hold on. MCU timeline. That convoluted, who knows where it's going and where are we? So yeah, come back, check us out next week for the timelines MCU.
Very cool. All right. Bye, everybody.